Every woman has been here at least once. That terrifying moment when the man she loves stops trying. Not because he's tired or broken, but because he genuinely believes she'll never walk away. That's where Lily found herself, not in a dramatic breakup, not in a fight, but in a quiet shift, a change she could feel long before she could explain. Because sometimes men don't leave with their feet. Sometimes they leave in their behavior. Lily was the kind of woman who loved deeply and consistently. She grew up believing love was something you showed, not just said. So when she met Jason, a man who seemed intentional, present, and emotionally tuned in, it felt like safety. In the early days, he noticed everything. "How was your meeting? You seemed nervous." "You can rest, I'll handle dinner tonight." "Text me when you get home so I know you're safe." He wasn't perfect, but he made her feel chosen. They laughed easily, kissed slowly, talked about the future in the way couples do when everything still feels possible. And Lily? She began to hope again. Jason would tell her, "I've never met someone who actually listens to me. You make life feel calmer. I want to do this right." And Lily believed him, not because she was naive, but because finally she wanted to. For months, things were simple. He brought flowers. He booked dates. He checked in. He chose her, not just in words, but in effort. And Lily, like many women, began to soften. She let her guard down. She stopped waiting for the red flags she was used to. She allowed herself to trust, but somewhere around the 6-month mark, things changed. Not dramatically, not overnight, but in tiny ways that made her heart tighten, even if her lips stayed silent. Calls stopped coming as often. Texts took longer to receive. He'd leave messages on read. Plans became last minute. Instead of, "Let's go to that new restaurant on Friday," it became, "We'll see. I'll let you know." Instead of holding her hand, he walked slightly ahead. Instead of complimenting her dress, he made comments like, "Why do you get so dressed up for simple outings?" He started to sigh more, laugh less, look somewhere else during conversations. And the worst part, he didn't even seem aware of it. That's how emotional drifting works. Quiet, gentle, almost invisible, until it's not. One night, Lily sat beside him on the couch, just inches away, and yet she felt like she was on the other side of a window. Jason scrolled on his phone while she sat with a tight chest and a fake smile. She waited for him to notice, to look up, to ask what was wrong. He didn't. And something in her heart cracked, quietly. She went home that night, lay in bed, and stared at the ceiling. This wasn't the relationship she entered. This was the relationship he settled into once he believed she would stay no matter what. The psychology is painfully common. Some men give their best when they still fear losing you. They show effort, presence, interest. But when they think they have you, completely, they relax into entitlement. They stop dating you, they stop seeing you. They start assuming, "She'll be here even if I stop trying." And Lily wondered, how do you bring it up without sounding insecure? How do you say, "I miss the way you used to love me," without sounding needy? Instead, she swallowed the panic, smiled through the ache and hoped it would fix itself. It didn't. 2 weeks later, they were meant to have dinner together, an actual planned date, something they hadn't done in a while. Lily spent time getting ready. Black dress, subtle perfume, soft curls. She felt good. She felt hopeful. But at 7:18 p.m., her phone buzzed. "Hey, can we rain check? I'm tired." No apology, no explanation, not even her name. And just like that, her mascara suddenly felt heavier. She sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the message, not angry, but numb. Because it wasn't one cancelled date, it was the pattern, the slow removal of effort, the soft evaporation of someone who used to show up. So she just typed, "Yeah, no problem." Even though it was a problem. Women do that more than we admit. Say, "It's fine," while breaking inside. The next time she saw him, she tried again. Is everything okay with us? It was a gentle question, non-confrontational, open, inviting. Jason barely looked up. Yeah? Why wouldn't it be? She hesitated. You just feel a little distant. He shrugged. I'm just busy. No reassurance, no curiosity, no follow-up question, conversation over. And Lily walked away feeling dramatic, even though her intuition was spot on. That's the cruelty of emotional negligence. It makes you doubt your reality. The turning point came unexpectedly. They were driving in silence. Jason focused on the road, Lily staring out the window. She turned her head, looked at his profile, the man she adored. And something inside her whispered, I know. He stopped fighting for you because he thinks you'll never leave. And God, it hurt because it was true. Jason wasn't a villain. He was simply a man who relaxed too much into her love. While she was still fighting to keep things alive, she realized something. She was giving 100%. He was giving 40%, and she was blaming herself for the missing 60. Every late reply, every cancelled date, every emotional absence, she took personally. Not because she was insecure, but because she was emotionally invested. There's a difference. Love makes women try harder. Comfort makes some men try less. That night, Lily sat alone in her living room, running her fingers along the edge of her coffee mug. She whispered to herself, when did I stop being the woman he courted and start being the woman he assumed? The question hung in the dim air. And she knew something had to change, not him, her. Because sometimes the first step in getting someone to show up is showing them you won't tolerate being slowly disappeared. And that realization was the beginning of everything that would come next. Lily didn't leave dramatically. She didn't slam doors, block numbers, or post sad quotes online. She simply shifted, silently, the same way he had. She answered slower. She stopped initiating plans. She pulled her emotional availability back into her body like someone drawing a blanket tighter around themselves. Not to manipulate him, but to save herself. Because women like Lily don't break loudly. They break inward, and then they get tired. Very, very tired. It took Jason a week to notice. They were on the couch again, him scrolling, her quiet. But this time, she wasn't waiting for him to look up. She wasn't hoping for a question, or an apology, or a grand romantic gesture. She was emotionally elsewhere. Jason finally glanced over. You okay? You've been weird lately. Lily blinked slowly. That sentence, you've been weird, was a summary of the entire problem. He hadn't noticed her pain, just her change. She nodded. I'm fine. He put his phone down. Seriously, what's going on? She looked at him, not with anger, but with clarity. I think we're in different relationships. He frowned, exhaled. What does that even mean? Lily spoke the truth most women swallow. It means I'm still trying, and you're coasting. Jason leaned back, uncomfortable. Lily, you're overthinking. We're good. She smiled sadly. That word, good, felt insulting. Good wasn't flowers on the counter. Good wasn't thoughtful questions. Good wasn't emotional presence. Good was bare minimum comfort. She tried again. When was the last time you planned something for us? He blinked, searching his memory. That doesn't mean I don't care. No, she said quietly. It means you got comfortable because you assumed I wasn't going anywhere. He shifted, defensive. So what? Now you're threatening to leave? She shook her head. I'm not threatening anything. I'm just done being the only one fighting for something we're supposed to both want. Her voice didn't rise. Her eyes didn't water. That scared him more than shouting would have. Because silence, real silence, means the heart is already halfway out the door. For the next few days, he tried to act normal. But Lily didn't react the same. He texted good morning, and she replied hours later. He asked what she wanted for dinner, and she said she already ate. He suggested a movie night, and she told him she had plans. Jason began to feel what she had felt for months, the weight of being emotionally alone in a relationship. The psychology is simple. Some men don't recognize your worth when they have access to you, but they feel your absence immediately. And Jason felt it, hard. One evening he showed up at her apartment with takeout and a nervous energy she hadn't seen in a long time. He stood in her doorway, eyes searching her face. "Can we talk?" She stepped back to let him inside but kept emotional distance. He set the food down and exhaled. "I know I've been distant." Lily remained quiet, allowing him space to speak. He ran a hand through his hair, the universal gesture of a man realizing something too late. "I thought we were in a stable place. I guess I relaxed." She nodded. "You stopped dating me." He swallowed. "I didn't realize how much effort mattered. I thought once we were solid, it wouldn't be such a big deal." Lily looked at him with a calm honesty that comes from awakening. "That's the problem. You stopped showing up because you thought I'd stay regardless." He looked pained. "I never meant to hurt you." "I know," she said softly, "but neglect hurts, even if it isn't intentional." He sat down, elbows on knees. "What do you want me to do?" And Lily finally said the sentence most women are terrified to speak. "I want you to court me, even when you think you already have me." That night didn't fix everything. Real relationships aren't magic switchboards. It took time. Jason had to earn back the emotional space he wasted. He had to show, not just say. He planned dinners again. He asked questions again. He listened, not with his ears, but with presence. He unlearned comfort. He relearned effort. And Lily? She didn't reward the first week of improvement like gold stars in school. Because women who learn their worth don't get impressed by temporary change. They watch for consistency. They watch for emotional leadership, maturity, presence, not just apologies. 4 weeks passed, and the relationship felt different. Not like the honeymoon phase, not like the painful middle. Something healthier, something more equal. One night at dinner, calm, warm lighting, hands on the table, Jason looked at her and said, "I didn't realize how much of you I was taking for granted. I assumed love meant safety, and safety meant I could stop trying." Lily nodded. "That's how most relationships die, quietly." Jason exhaled. "I don't want to lose you." "You won't," she said gently, "as long as you don't lose your effort." They sat in silence, not awkward, but peaceful. Two humans who had seen the edge and chosen accountability over ego. Because the truth is, men don't lose women when women leave. They lose women much earlier. On the nights she cried silently beside them, on the days she felt unseen, on the moments she felt small in the arms of someone who once made her feel unforgettable. Women leave emotionally long before they leave physically. Some men never notice until the door closes. Jason noticed before it was too late. Lily healed without breaking herself. Every woman should learn that balance. You can communicate your hurt without begging. You can love someone without losing self-respect. You can stay without abandoning yourself. And if you're reading this and you feel this story in your chest, like the video so more women see this, comment. I'm healing if you're going through this too. Subscribe for more stories like this, because you are not alone. Millions of women have experienced the same emotional fading. But your story can end differently. You are allowed to demand effort, consistency, presence, reciprocity. Not because you're asking for too much, but because you finally understand. Love isn't proven in feelings. It's proven in continued effort. He started acting different when he thought she'd never leave. And she started acting stronger when she realized she always could. Because the moral is simple. Never let someone feel safer taking you for granted than loving you with intention. Growth leaves scars, but it also leaves wisdom. And Lily walked away with both.